All right, you guys, welcome back. I'm going to do one more example of these level 2 absolute value equations. All right, so you can see I've copied it down. I've got the absolute value of 4x minus 5, and then absolute value, and then minus 5 equals 2x. All right, so I got to get that absolute value by itself. So I'm going to add 5. So I've got the absolute value of 4x minus 5 equals 2x plus 5. Okay, that's an x, I'm sorry. So 4x minus 5 equals, and that's an absolute value, equals 2x plus 5. Notice I didn't add those. Okay, these are not like terms, and I actually didn't say that in my last video, and I should have. But you can't add those up. That doesn't equal 7x. They have to have, either they both have to have an x, or they both have to not have an x. Okay, so I have to write it this way. Okay, we talked about in the last video, it's all about this next step and how we set it up. So I get 4x minus 5 equals 2x plus 5. 4x minus 5 equals negative parentheses 2x plus 5. Now, some of you might be thinking, Ms. Barfield, I could distribute that and write that down in the same step. More power to you, okay? I'm a big fan of showing my work and being very careful in how I present things to students because we're all at different levels and we all see things differently. But I've also learned over the years, even myself, that if I skip steps or I think I can jump ahead, it tends to backfire. Okay. So that's just how I do things. I work them out and yeah, I take it slow. All right, so 4x minus 5 equals 2x plus 5. So again, you have variables on both sides. You can approach this different ways. You could subtract 4x first. You could subtract 2x first. It's a personal preference at this point. So I'm going to subtract 2x. So I get 2x minus 5 equals 5. I'm going to add 5. So I get 2x equals 10. So I get x equals 5. All right, and you guys are welcome to skip these steps in orange, okay? And I typically do as well if you look at work that I've done for myself here. But these kind of steps, I'll be honest, I show them. All right, so I have to distribute. So 4x minus 5 equals negative 2x minus 5. And what do I mean by you can skip steps? Well, I know if I add 2x to both sides, I get 6x minus 5 equals negative 5. If I add 5, I get 0. And then if I divide by 6, I get 0. You guys are more than welcome to solve problems at this level in that way. You don't have to show the individual steps. Okay, I'm totally fine with this. When you are showing your work, though, make sure you're showing it. Okay, you're not trying to skip from here to the bottom, because honestly, if you go from the problem to the answer and I've asked you to show work, okay, a couple of things have happened. You've either one done on your calculator or you've copied somebody else. Okay, and there's a time and a place to use the calculator. There's a time and a place to not show your work and just, yeah, jump ahead to the calculator. All right, so now we talked about in the last video being a good mathematician and checking our work, okay? If you don't want to have to go through the steps of plugging in 5 and seeing if it works, plugging in 0 and seeing if it works, go to Desmos. So let's pull up Desmos. All right, let's delete out the last problem. So I'm going to type in absolute value of 4x minus 5, absolute value minus 5. Okay, notice I didn't put the y equals and it still worked. I put the y equals in for you guys too because it also gives you, it's a good habit. Okay, but it does work without y equals and I should have mentioned that before. Okay, I just want it to look like a function when I type it in. But you can see here, okay, we've got 2 intersection points. That's promising and telling me that I have 2 answers. okay? Because if it had only intersected one time, one of these answers would have been extraneous, okay? But now, how do you know you've got them right? Well, you look at the x value. So I have 0, so there's my x equals 0. And I look here, 5 comma 10, well, x equals 5. So now I know I have both answers, okay? So now when I go to Delta Math, okay, and let me slide Desmos over here. Okay, oops, didn't work properly. Okay, so now I know that I have these two answers. Okay, I'm going to type in 0. It doesn't matter which one I type in first, comma, and then 5. And I'll submit my answer. Yes, I got my green check mark. Okay, all right, so make sure, what is my point today too? My first point is make sure you use Desmos to check your work. That's going to be the easiest way to do it. If you get an extraneous solution, okay, you're not going to type that into Delta Math because like it says in Delta Math, you've rejected it. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Make sure you understand how to do this because the next video is going to be with inequalities, and a lot of students that causes just a little bit more concern. All right. Good luck, you guys.